hay thì đừng bỏ qua những nút like và nút đăng ký kênh để ủng hộ mình, để mình có động lực ra video thêm các bạn nha. Xin chào tất cả các bạn.
Thì làm chiếc tiêu của mọi người.
Texas 2 of 15 on third downs that night. So we'll see the adjustments that are made on both sides as they get ready for round 2 next week.
A lot of talking in Athens, too, as the Dogs were very fortunate to escape 8 overtimes against a gutsy Georgia Tech team. The former Aggie, by the way, Haynes King, gave it all he had, but came up short. And the Longhorns celebration continues. It'll be a 100-mile trip.
Good job by Sark. Off the logo. Here we go.
Yep.
Off the logo. No need for that. We can celebrate in other areas. That's how you handle that.
Police are also protecting that logo, if you'll notice.
Smart.
Yeah, take your victory and flip it forward and
Right.
play for bigger things now.
Absolutely.
Texas trying to win it in year 1 in the SEC. You got SMU trying to splash as the ACC champion. Who knows what's going to happen in the Big 12? That's still very much in play. Arizona State secured their spot. How about Clemson, SMU?
Yeah, that's a good one. I'll tell you, Clemson now gets in with that Miami loss. Look at this one. Nobody's talked much about UNLV, but if they end up knocking off Boise State, and that's not that far-fetched, UNLV would end up being the group of 4 team that would end up going into a playoff spot. So we've been assuming it's Boise State, but look out for that matchup next week.
Ramirez wasn't perfect tonight. Gutsy made the big scramble on that ankle early in the game to set the tone. And a touchdown pass, but leaned on Wisner and that offensive line. And Texas, it's hard to see one team that stands out and says, well, they're complete, they're consistent. Is it Oregon? Is it Texas?
I think it's Texas. I mean, Oregon is fast. They're dynamic. It's going to be a lot of fun. What's crazy is when Georgia plays their best, they're really good, right? So who can put it together? Who can string together the consistency to play at their very best? Texas has been pretty much the same team for most of the year, with the exception of when Georgia came to Austin and beat them up pretty good.
Game day's been to the SEC championship game a lot of times. We've had the pleasure of watching that game ringside on the field, just kind of scouting, watching in a suite. We'll get to be in the booth for the very first time. It's our pleasure to bring you the SEC championship game. Yeah, it's different. Both teams figure to be safely in the playoff, no doubt about that. But they'll play for a conference championship in a very charged-up environment. And, of course, that seed and that bye, which is part of the new reality.
And I think let's put the playoff to the side. You heard Sark tell Holly, this is for a chance. When you're inside a locker room and you compete and you lift weights 12 months out of the year, it's to win a championship. And that's what Sark and the boys will be playing for next week against Kirby and the Dogs.
Well, it's been a pleasure tonight. Caps our regular season. We will see you from Atlanta. Tremendous job by our crew all night and all season long. Bill Bonnell produced the game. Jimmy Platt directed it. Thanks to Tony and Darren and Mark and Blackie in the booth and our entire crew. Except on the West Coast, stay tuned for your local news over most of these ABC stations. Kirk Herbstreit, Holly Rowe, Bill LaMagne, and our entire crew. Chris Fowler saying so long from College Station. We'll see you in Atlanta for the Dogs and the Horns, round 2.
Thank you for watching this presentation of the Southeastern Conference on ABC.
Get into the holiday spirit
with a little Disney magic.
The season shines brighter than ever with performances by Elton John, 17, John Legend, and more. The Wonderful World of Disney Holiday Spectacular, Sunday on ABC. Gather your family for CMA Country Christmas.
You better watch out.
We have a sleigh load of stars performing the season's most festive songs.
Merry Christmas.
CMA Country Christmas, Tuesday on ABC.
Mình chào tất cả các bạn. Chào các bạn ngày hôm nay lại đến xem video của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ chọn những sản phẩm hoa quả đẹp nhất và những đồ vật khác để mình tô màu các bạn nhé. Nếu các bạn xem video của mình, xem của mình mà thấy video của mình hay thì đừng bỏ qua những nút like và nút đăng ký kênh để ủng hộ mình, để mình có động lực ra video thêm các bạn nha. Mình chào tất cả các bạn.
Vediamo chiếc tiếp tô mà các.
When you can make anything possible because you have a reliable connection that puts everything within reach. That's life unlimited. That's Spectrum.
When you're injured, you want more. More service, more lawyers, more resources. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm. And like me, they love more. Yeah, could use a little more. And unlike Christmas, which you only get to celebrate for maybe 2 months a year, they have over 4,000 support staff working 24/7 all year long.
When you're injured, you deserve more. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm.
It's Carl's Jr.'s Western Bacon Cheeseburger. Tangy barbecue sauce, crispy onion rings, char broiled perfection. Yeah, we're obsessed with it too.
The holidays.
So happy together.
And holiday trips. And holiday toys. And holiday bonding. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet.
Or current qualified lessees can get this Trax LT for around $219 a month. Together, let's drive at your Southern California Chevy dealers.
Carl's Jr. Big Carl fans know nothing beats the taste of char-grilled beef, American cheese, and Carl's classic sauce. Except getting a second Big Carl for just $1. Buy one, get one for $1. Only at Carl's Jr.
Now, Southern California's news leader, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Hello, thank you for joining us. You're watching a special edition of Eyewitness News at 8. I'm Michelle Fisher.
And I'm Jory Rand. Thanks for sticking around after football for this very abbreviated newscast. We begin with a community remembering 2 young girls killed by a suspected drunk driver.
A vigil was held tonight for 3-year-old Alina and 4-year-old Nevaeh Flores. They were killed last Sunday night in Rialto after an alleged DUI driver ran a red light and crashed into their family's van. The girl's father was hospitalized. Their mother was unharmed. 28-year-old Alexis Jose Garcia of San Bernardino is the accused DUI driver who caused that deadly crash. He's been charged with the 2 girls' murders.
Firefighters making a tragic discovery while fighting a house fire in La Habra. A person was found dead inside the home this morning on Farrington Drive. An investigation now underway into the cause of the fire and the person's death. 2 pets were also found dead inside the home. A 3rd pet was taken to an animal hospital. Firefighters managed to contain the flames to the garage and only a small portion of the home. Well, December 1st is tomorrow, though it's feeling a bit like late spring into summer. Shayla Girardin tracking the weather changes in the AccuWeather forecast. Shayla?
Yes, we are getting a very warm start to the month. So taking a look ahead tomorrow, we'll be in the 70s just shy of noon, and then not getting much warmer than that. LA, Orange County, you're going to see temperatures in the high 60s, low 70s. Los Angeles, mid-70s tomorrow, a little bit cooler than what we felt out there today. And look, only cooling down as we head into the next few days. Upper 60s for you Tuesday with a mix of sun and clouds. It is looking like we are going to see a return of Santa Ana winds by the end of the week, but overall really comfortable temperatures for us as we round out the weekend. Valleys, Inland Empire, a little bit warmer out there tomorrow. Temperatures at 76 degrees, overnight lows dipping into the 40s. Along the coast, we will see some more cloud cover building in as we head into Monday, Tuesday. Cooler temperatures on the way as well with overnight lows in the 50s. Mountains, look at this. Nice week ahead. Temperatures in the 50s, overnight lows dipping into the 20s, so it will be on the chilly side, but no rain, no snow to talk about as we head into this week. And finally, desert spots, 60s for you the next few days. Overnight lows dipping into the 30s. You will see some breezy conditions to start the week, but that'll die down by about midweek before that Santa Ana wind picks up again. But Jory, Michelle, overall really comfortable temperatures for us. Going to feel a little bit more like summer as we head into December.
All right, we'll take it, Shayla. Thank you. Moana 2 shattering holiday box office records. The Disney movie brought in $28 million on Thanksgiving Day alone. Tonight, a special edition of On the Red Carpet will celebrate the new animated adventure. That's next. on ABC7.
And that's going to do it for this quick 3-minute edition of Eyewitness News at 8. We thank you so much for joining us.
We'll see you back here for Eyewitness News at 11. That's Southern California's
Mình chào tất cả các bạn. Chào các bạn ngày hôm nay lại đến xem video của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ chọn những sản phẩm hoa quả đẹp nhất và những đồ vật khác để mình tô màu các bạn nhé. Nếu các bạn xem video của mình, em xem của mình mà thấy video của mình hay thì đừng bỏ qua những nút like và nút đăng ký kênh để ủng hộ mình, để mình có động lực ra video thêm các bạn nha. Xin chào tất cả các bạn.
Ford's Black Friday Sell-a-thon is back again with exciting offers all through the weekend. Don't miss Black Friday deals on these fabulous Fords. Hurry in. The Ford Sell-a-thon ends Monday.
The Ortho Mattress Black Friday sale is on now. Introducing the reimagined Beauty Rest Black, pocketed coil technology, unparalleled motion separation, and individualized support. It's the season's lowest prices, so save 50% on Ortho mattresses or $600 on Beauty Rest Black. Get a free upgrade to an electric adjustable base. Plus, enjoy 36 months of zero-interest financing. Don't miss the Black Friday mattress sale, only at Ortho Mattress.
To them. Do it right back. Make sure you're attacking that paint, collapsing the defense so you're getting high quality shots. As I mentioned, the Warriors got 13 more field goal attempts, but shot 41%. What that tells me, they're not getting the high quality shots.
And you mentioned that in the OKC game where they got 14 more attempts at OKC, but went 1 of 15 there in the fourth quarter. All right, the fourth quarter, speaking of which, it was an 89-83 game. Phoenix was up 6, and it felt like the Warriors were within striking distance of getting back into this game. But Phoenix will go on a 14-3 run, and they will go up 103-86 as Kevin Durant. That's just too easy.
What's that called? That's called one-up, elbow catch, get out of my way. I got this.
How about this defense? I'm telling you, when Kevin Durant was a member of the Golden State Warriors, he was playing as one of the best defensive players in the league.
He was blocking shots.
Exactly. He was leading the league in block shots going into January in his first season. You see that play? He loves playing defense under Ron Adams. And then look at this play, Tyus Jones. Nasty.
I thought KD was a great emotional leader for the Suns tonight. I thought the way he went is how the Phoenix Suns went. And he just really stepped it up, turned that defensive pressure up, and everyone else around him, they just seemed to play a little bit harder when KD was going, he was cooking. Right here, Booker playing the point guard position between him and Tyus Jones, man, being able to move that ball back and forth. That right there was really how the game went. All the role players, Kevin Durant was struggling from the field, but all the role players making shots, really getting the Phoenix Suns involved the whole night. And when you're playing with the lead, those shots are a little bit easier. So they had that cushion coming out of halftime. Even when the Warriors made their run, even that Tyus Jones shot there. You know, if it's a one-point game or a tie game, it's a different shot. With a 7 to 9 point lead, you're feeling a little bit more confident about those looks.
That Tyus Jones move is sneaky good. Every time we keep watching the Phoenix Suns, he just keeps that team together. He's a solid piece for them. All right, moving forward here with Stephen Curry as he made his return after missing Wednesday night's action against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Look at it, start off well for him as he fell in the first half. He was 0 for 5 in the first 2 quarters of action. He ends up 8 of 21, but really got his game going in the third quarter. But Phoenix did a great job on limiting him from the three-point line in that first half.
Look at every one of these clips. Look at how everyone is keying in on Steph Curry. No open shots. The first play of the third quarter was a down screen by Kevon Looney. Nobody inside. He was able to get. These are great shots for the Warriors in the offense. Right here. I mean, all you got to do is get him great shots. But for that to happen, everybody else has to be hidden as well. Kevon Looney was able to benefit from it. I like the activity by the bigs in the second half. Being able to set screens, get him open. I think that's going to be the focus here the next couple games on the road trip. Yeah, 5 field goal attempts for Steph Curry in the half is unacceptable, whether it be coaching or your teammates. You got to get him more shots. And I would start the game the way they started the second half. Pin down, get him open, first 5 possessions in Denver. And then if he has the basketball, give him a high screen at half court or beyond in the back court to get him space, get him open.
Show no lingering effects of that bilateral knee soreness, right? That's
Cuma xong
important
bắn.
for Stephen Curry. All right, Tyus Jones. We keep
Mình chào tất cả các bạn. Chào các bạn ngày hôm nay lại đến xem video của mình. Hôm nay mình sẽ chọn những sản phẩm hoa quả đẹp nhất và những đồ vật khác để mình tô màu với các bạn nhé. Những các bạn xem video của mình, anh xem của mình mà thấy video của mình hay thì đừng bỏ qua những nút like và nút đăng ký kênh để ủng hộ mình, để mình có động lực ra video thêm các bạn nha. Mình chào tất cả các bạn.
Bây giờ mình sẽ tiếp tục món qua.
So all of a sudden, Mike Budenholzer, whose offense is top 10, defense 22nd rated, he may have found a nice shot blocker behind those dynamic wings. I mean, isn't that what happens when someone goes down? A guy goes down, 2 guys actually, in Bradley Beal and Yusuf Nurkic for the Phoenix Suns. And now you have guys playing out of their positions. Grayson Allen is now a starter, and you have Mason Plumlee starting. Iguodaro, a guy who's off the bench, now gets some time to come into the game, and he really affects the game defensively. Blocking shots. I thought he had more block shots than what they gave him. You know, I'm always looking out for the bigs, but I thought Tyus Jones was doing a great job. He did a great job just being a facilitator. That's all you need. When you have 3 great scorers on your team, Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, and you have Devin Booker on your team, you have to be able to move the ball and be able to get it to exactly where it needs to be. Know who's hot. I thought he did a great job of that. He got Royce O'Neal going in key moments in the game. I thought the bench for them did a great job. The first half of the game, they outscored the Golden State Warriors 18-16. That's them setting the tone, and really they led into the end of the game where they took over as well. I just think a guy like Iguodaro, we mentioned about the Warriors maybe acquiring a big at the trade deadline. To me, the way the NBA is played now, with everyone spread out along the three-point line, we see Phoenix made 14 threes. So what do you want the Warriors to run them off the 3? When you run them off the 3, you need someone in that back line defense to block shots, or at least to clog it up, to make them pull up and shoot a contested 2.
All right, the Warriors, they've lost 4 games in a row. Yeah. They're now 12-7 after a hot start, a 10-2 start. And they go to Denver, and they'll have a couple days off to get ready for Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and the Denver Nuggets. But the panic meter needs to be busted out. Sack the producer, it's out.
We're not even 20 games in yet,
We're not even 20 games in. So am I panicking? Am I saying, oh, am I not tripping? I'm going to say slightly concerned. Okay. Slightly concerned. I'm not going to say I'm not tripping, but the loss of DeAnthony Melton, he seemed to really keep that starting 5 together. He was the final piece of that starting 5. So the 2-guard spot is a revolving door right now, whether it's Lindy Waters III or Brandon Pajemski. Where's Kuminga at off that bench? I'm a little concerned. Plus, you guys look at the schedule in December.
Slightly concerned.
Might be by the end of December. Minnesota, Houston, Denver. I mean, you name it. They've got a treacherous path here the rest of the season.
You okay, man?
I'm all right. I'll be all right. I just need a day off.
It's a long season, man.
Toyota Warriors Post-Game Live is presented by Toyota. Class-leading MPG and more hybrid models than any other brand. Toyota, let's go places.
Toyota's Black Friday sales event ends soon. Hurry in to save big on the most reliable brand on the road. Lease a Corolla for just $229 a month, or lease the all-hybrid Camry for just $289 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
Always remain true. It's getting sucked in the mouth. You can't handle that. Bring it back to them today. Be pissed off about it. The most physical team gonna win this game today.
McCaffrey scores! 49ers in front.
Secure your seats at 49ers.com/tickets.
Toyota's Black Friday sales event ends soon. Hurry in for the hottest lineup of fuel-efficient hybrids. Shop 16 hybrid models, cars, trucks, and SUVs from the most reliable brand on the road. Toyota, let's go places.
This Sportsnet Central update is presented by Resort and Casino.
Hôm nay mình là một ngày đẹp trời.
49ers have been searching for some good moves, and they got it on Friday as Brock Purdy threw in practice and flew out with the team to Buffalo, New York, where he is expected to play and start tomorrow after missing a Green Bay Packer game last Sunday with some 49ers loss. Brock Purdy's been playing very good football here. It's a good sign that he'll be playing in that snowstorm in Buffalo. However, Trent Williams is out, Nick Bosa's out, Aaron Banks is out, so they are still shorthanded against one of the best teams in the NFL. If you didn't make it up in Buffalo, you can go to Tri-City and Chase Center. You go watch the game right there on that big old screen tomorrow starting at 5 o'clock. NBCSportsBayArea.com/football night to RSVP. Got prizes, raffles, games. It'll be a lot of fun out there, and you'll be a lot more warm, right? You'll be warmer. Excuse me. Pardon me. You'll be warmer. Stay home or stay in Tri-City. You have to be in the snow, man. Good Lord.
I mean, Brock Purdy has to return for the Niners to have any chance at all at saving and salvaging the season. But you know, it's been a season riddled with injuries, a lot of things going on. But I still believe in my Niners, Bonte. Don't break out the panic meter just yet. I still believe.
You don't want to break out the panic meter, Niners. This fan base right now.
It's gonna be cold though. It's gonna be cold. Let's go, Buffalo.
Don't let them lose that game tomorrow. I gotta go back to the roast on Monday. I've been getting some great sleep.
Purdy's back. That's a tough ass, though.
It's a tough ass.
Buffalo's tough. It's going to be like 4 feet of snow up there.
And Josh Allen playing at MVP level.
Field advantage.
Oh, my God. The swirling winds. Oh, pray for you on Monday, Fezzi.
At least his shoulder will be numb. The built-in cryo chamber. You won't feel anything.
It's time now for the team. You just may feel bad about the game tomorrow. At least it's Sunday Night Football, right? We could. All right, let me not say that. Phoenix shot 48% from the floor, 51% from the three-point line, 31 assists. They really had the ball hopping in the first half as well. The Warriors kept their turnovers down, but every time they turned it over, it seems like Phoenix made them pay tonight. We saw that against OKC, gave up 16 points off those 9 turnovers. And the free throw shooting was better, so there are some positives, Fez, you fail. Let's hear from Steve Kerr, presented by BMW.
Phoenix.
Monica.
Phoenix was our biggest problem. We didn't play a bad game. 9 turnovers, 28 assists. We didn't make shots. I mean, we had some good looks, and the ball didn't go in, but they were great. I mean, 18 for 35 from 3. First half, I thought our guys were actually playing pretty solid defense, rotating, flying around, but they spread you out, and they did a great job of getting behind us a few times, pulling in our rotation guys, and then hitting threes behind the play, and all those threes in the first half. Obviously forced our hand a little bit, and we had to change our coverages. But this is the modern NBA. Threes go in like that, it's tough to win.
You've even talked about the 12-man, 13-man rotation was always kind of destined to look different during struggles. I mean, on a night like tonight, does it feel like you're searching when you're playing 13-man?
Yeah, I was searching the whole first half. I played 14, I think. I played 14 in the first half. 13. Yeah, 13 in the first half. I was searching. Played everybody, and I didn't love the early part of the second quarter. We didn't have the juice and the energy. Draymond talked about it at practice yesterday. When you've lost a few in a row, you can't count on making 23s and winning a game with your offense. You got to dig your way out of it. And I didn't think our energy and our juice was there, our focus. And so that's why I kept moving people around. And then second half, we found something. And obviously didn't play Moses and Kyle, and so we've got to adapt and adjust. If things aren't working, which obviously right now we're in a little bit of a funk, then we've got to think about the rotation and what we're going to do with it. But it's I like all these guys. I believe in all of them, but we have to do what's right to help us win a game.
How did you think Steph looked tonight?
He got it going in the second half. Obviously, he looked a little slow in the first half, like he wasn't moving like he normally does, and then he got going in the second half and looked fine. But
hello, xin chào tất cả các bạn. Ngày hôm nay mình là một ngày đẹp trời. Mình sẽ chỉ cho các bạn cách tôi mò các con vật động vật, pháo cả đẹp nhất.
Managing his minutes, his body, and Rick and his staff are the best in the world at what they do, and we're working together every day on this stuff, and so we'll figure it out.
When you are
Cái
searching
bạn mà
like
xem video
playing
của mình mà
13 guys
thấy
in like
video
14
của mình mà
minutes,
hay thì hãy
there's
cho
like
mình một
there's
lượt
not a lot
like
of time for you to
và một
make
lượt đăng ký
decisions.
kênh
Like, so
để
like
ủng hộ mình
what are you
để mình có
looking
nhiều động
for?
lực để ra
I'm
video
looking
nhé.
for force and energy and juice. I'm looking for guys who are talking on defense. It was a morgue out there in the second quarter. Defensively, it was I couldn't hear anybody, and so there has to be a collective force and competitiveness if you've lost a few in a row, especially. But I couldn't hear anything. There was just nothing, and so we made some changes and tried to get more energy into the game.
Is part of the concern with.
All right, Steve Kerr, you play with more force and more juice. What does he mean by that, Fez? You played for Steve Kerr, won the championship with him. What does he mean by when he says, I need them to play with more force, more juice, and talk a little more on defense?
Yeah, you almost kind of have to, you have to be a self-starter. Because normally when you can ride the high of making shots. But when you're losing and you've lost a few games in a row, you got to come in with a lot of energy. You got to force your way into a win. And I thought the Warriors were kind of waiting into the game before they got started. Second half, they got some energy, but it wasn't enough. And still, Steve Kerr is saying, I need to hear you. I need to feel you, defensively especially. The first quarter, the Phoenix Suns scored 35 points. That's not what I wanted to start the game. I want you to start off with force, and I want you to make your effectiveness known from the start of the game.
Yeah, when you're on a losing streak, everything becomes magnified. The margin of error becomes smaller. Everything becomes something that becomes emphasized. And on the defensive end, the first thing you have to do is talk. Even before you start getting into your defensive stance, I got ball. There's a screen left, screen right. Then it kind of is a chain reaction. Then all five guys are talking. If no one's talking, I remember when Steve called that timeout. Obviously, we're not there, but he said he couldn't hear anyone talking, and that kind of set him off. That you're not into the game, right? So that's the first thing to do. Offensively, I think they'll be fine. They've been struggling, I think, getting quality shots. But defensively, they were 10-2. I was amazed at the individual defense. I thought that was the biggest improvement, was containing the basketball, not getting broken down. And that's kind of been their Achilles heel these last 4 games. It feels like now the league is starting to attack that, just trying to spread them out and just go one-on-one at guys and get them into rotations. And without shot blockers, that last guy has got the ability to shoot that three or drive right to the lane and not feel deterred whatsoever.
How many times have we watched teams that are really struggling, other teams that are struggling, and you watch them at halftime or timeouts where nobody's talking in the timeout? Those are the qualities that seep in where you're not doing so well. So Steve Kerr is calling them out and saying, no, we're not there. We got to get that energy back up.
Well, the other thing that's a change is the Warriors are not the only team that spreads teams out and plays motion and goes 5. A lot of league does that. So now you're not coming across half court and calling a play out. These are all read and react plays. So you have to talk now more than ever because the team's not coming out calling a play where you can go, oh, one, it's a pin down or a flash screen. They're playing random basketball, read and react. So to me, it makes you have to talk even more so on the defensive end.
Warriors had 10 different starting lineups to start the season. They called it the first 5. I like the first 5. But one guy who may be part of the first 5 in the future is Kevon Looney, who did start the second half.
Big Looney!
He set a screen right away, and Looney off the bench. 16 minutes, 4-4, 9 points, 6 rebounds, and he did play with force. Maybe Steve Kerr will say, hey, Loon Dog, and it's no knock on TJD. I think he's played fine. He's played well, but Loon is a trusted agent. He's a veteran. He's been with this team for a decade here, and he's a champion. Maybe Steve will look to rely on Looney to set a tone in that first half, in that first quarter, I should say.
Monte, I don't know what y'all talking about not playing with force, because Kevon Looney came in the game and did exactly what he was supposed to do. In just 16 minutes, he has 9 points, he has 6 rebounds. These are the things that you want from him. You want him to set great screens. He's got that. His ability to get Steph open. We showed that play at the start of the third quarter. Him starting because they needed that veteran presence. In the first half, a couple times TJD got called for a moving screen. Those are things that you need to be able to have those possessions when you're trying to make a comeback into a game. So Kevon Looney did a great job tonight.
Mình chào tất cả các bạn. Chào các bạn đã ngày hôm nay lại đến xem video của mình. Ngày hôm nay mình sẽ chọn những sản phẩm hoa quả đẹp nhất và những đồ vật khác để mình tô màu các bạn nha.
I think we all know Steve Kerr's favorite starting lineup was with Draymond and
Những các bạn xem video của mình,
offensive players around them.
anh xem của mình mà thấy video của mình hay thì đừng bỏ qua những nút like và nút đăng ký kênh để ủng hộ mình, để mình có động lực ra video thêm các bạn nha. Mình chào tất cả các bạn.
That could be a way to stabilize it, because now you talk about it's a veteran championship core, and no matter if it's Steph, Wiggins, and whoever the other guy is, you're being led by 4 champions.
I will say this. To really, he's been trying to find a solution, Steve Kerr. He's been trying to find what combination is going to work. I will say this, the bench has really been, the numbers for the bench for the Warriors has been declining over the last couple of weeks. So with that, maybe Kevon Looney coming to the start and TJD as the athletic big coming down, being able to set screens for Buddy Hield, maybe that's the change that you need for the bench. So Steve Kerr is going to continue to try to find different combinations.
Yeah, Moody may get another crack. He only played 3 minutes tonight. A lot of people are clamoring for Moody. More minutes. He had a great first half against the Brooklyn Nets and then attempted just 1 field goal in the second half of that game on Monday. All right, we're going to tease the break here on Toyota Warriors post-game live. We're going to try to build the perfect NBA player. Is Kevin Durant the perfect player? We're going to build a player next. Stay tuned.
I can achieve anything I put my mind to. I can put my future on a guaranteed path.
I can start at a community college and finish at my dream university. I can take a smart path to a bachelor's degree.
Save money by starting at a California community college and transferring to a guaranteed safe spot at a 4-year university. Learn about the associate degree for transfer and enroll today at icangotocollege.com.
The doctor will see you now. But do they really? Do they see that crick in your neck? That ache in your heart? Will they see that funny little thing that wasn't there last year? The new bounce in your step? The way your retinal scan connects to your blood sugar? At Kaiser Permanente, all of us work together to care for all that is you.
Cuando lo vi por primera vez, se me vino tanto a mi mente, porque no estaba preparado para nada. Los primeros 3 meses de su vida eran muy importantes para mí. Yo quería estar a su lado todo el tiempo. Cuando le oí decir, papi, papi, esa fue una de sus primeras palabras. Él creció tan rápido y me sorprende cada día lo inteligente que es.